So when we work on pickets, picket, there's two different kinds. There's one where it loops like this, and there's also kind of a raised picket when you kind of work on it. So we're gonna be working on the loop, and then we're gonna be kind of doing this. So we're not gonna end it, just like the last one. We're just gonna probably throw a bead there or something like that, and it'll transition into this. So the first one, again, it says 1/2 inch square nut, solid color. Then we have a 1/2 inch gap, then we're going to slide and tighten it. And then we're going to see if we can do a mixed color, and then so on and so forth. So first part is a solid color. I will throw down, I'll have my one red on one side, red on the other side. I'll tape this in place, lift this up, and back down again, nice and solid. These are a variation of a square now, which means, again, I need my traveler. So I'm going to take this one end and have a knot, so I know that this one passes through my 4. So the first one is a 1/2 inch of just a regular square knot. So here's my backwards 4. Remember, this one goes over that, and it goes under all 3 of these. And through that opening. And then you should always see that square, like where it looks like it kind of has a knot on both sides. And again, pull that up, push, pull, push. Okay, my knot is over on this side, so I've got to make a regular 4. Okay, I'm going to do this until I get my 1/2 inch square knot. I'm going to, okay, now that I have my 1/2 inch square knot, I'm going to create a loop. And what that means is that here's my knot on this side. So I'm going to do a regular 4. And now I'm going to leave, I want to leave a gap. So it gets a little tricky doing it the first time because you want to see if your elephant ears you're going to be making are going to be about the same. So this is as far as I'm going to take it. So I have that gap right there, and it says it's supposed to be about a 1/2 inch. And this is. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do another square knot without tightening that. This will create the knot on the bottom. Like this, and then you push up. And you have these elephant ear kind of things. Now I'm going to do another series of square knots that are on here, okay? But I need to, but this time, because I have that gap, I slide and tighten it, I do need to mix colors. So I'm going to switch. So I have a brown, and then a red. It's going to be on the inside. Have this, I need, okay, now that I have this, I need to make that gap again. So notice that the pickets on this one were red, because I had a solid red outside. This time it's going to be mixed. Again, I'm going to bring this up. Try to keep your gap here about a 1/2 inch. So I have my elephant ear sticking out there. I'm going to finish off that square knot by doing this last knot. And then this is where you got to kind of watch your tying, because you want to try to keep these as perfect as you can in terms of the size of them. And then I push up. Okay, and then it says go back to a another solid color. Stop there. Now, okay, now I have my 1/2 inch, and now we're going to switch over to the raised picket. Okay, so we're going to get this set up again by putting just a bead on here. Then it says 1/2 square of solid, then a gap, then 1 inch of solid, and then we're going to kind of fold it over like this. So we're going to get set up for that. So I'm going to pull this off. I'm gonna get my bead, doing my nut, and now I'm gonna start doing my knots. So looking at this, we can see that we need to do a 1/2 inch of square knot, solid color, and then a gap, again, kind of like what we did up here. But then after that, we're going to do a 1 inch solid color again, then pull the outside threads up back into the 8 inch, and we're going to pull them. You can kind of see in the pictures right here about how that kind of works, and you get this little bump in it. So that's the goal, is to make those. So set this off aside and get that done. So again, I'm gonna grab my threads. Okay, I have my one with the knot on here. Again, that's my traveler. And I'm going to create about a 1/2 inch on here. Okay, so I have my 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to leave a gap. So just like the regular picket. And I want to try to keep this smaller, not as big as the one that was up here. And that's probably good right about there. I want to just barely be able to fit the ends of these into those little gaps right there. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to do another knot here, because that's my 1/8 of an inch gap, just a real small gap. It's too big, it doesn't look as good. And I can still see that. Now I can always kind of take a pencil, put the lead in there and kind of pull it out a little bit if I need to, but that's definitely good enough. And now I need to do 1 inch, which is a lot, but you need a lot to be able to roll this. So let me get that done. Okay, now I have my inch right there. I'm going to undo my bottoms here. And it says to take your core threads and pass them through. So I'm going to take this one, because this is on the left-hand side. I'm going to put it on the left-hand side through that little hole. Pull that through. I'm going to take this one that's on the right. I'm going to pass this one through the right. There we go. Okay, now they're both through, so you pull them and you create that bump. Now, you might think that 1 inch bump is way too much, which is fine, because your design might be different. It does have a little bit of a larger gap on here. I do like to roll those a little tighter, but I want to kind of pull this. So I'm going to tape that down. Okay, then it says do a 1/2 square, then that gap, and then we do one more. Like 1/2 inch gap. Okay, I have my 1/2 inch gap. I'm trying to measure from like the end of this out, not from all the way back here, because you need a little more room, or just make it a little bit longer. Okay, same thing. This time I'm actually going to switch colors. So I'll have a core thread of this. Okay, get my traveler, tie a knot on one end. Okay, I'm going to leave a gap this time. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to tie once and I'll leave a gap. Should I do a full square knot, then I'll leave a gap. Okay, now I'm going to leave a gap. Okay, there's my gap. Okay, feel like that's good enough. And then I'm going to do my inch. Okay, this time I'm going to do a smaller one to see what it looks like. So this is, I'm going to do, this one's about, it's about ½ inch. A little bigger than ½ inch. But we're going to flip this one. And then you can see that by doing this, by switching it like this, then you can have those bumps that are a little bit of a different color, kind of more of a decoration or design part of it. Finishing off was the same as last time. If you remember, we're going to take everything off. I'm going to leave that gap right there. I'm going to, I don't need all this. Remember, I kind of, last time I did like about 5 or 6 inches. It was a little tight. I'm going to go a little bigger this time. We can always cut more off. You can't put more on if you cut too much off. Tie this knot, keep it, you know, try to leave about a ½ inch gap right there, and a double knot. So a knot on top of a knot or a knot inside of a knot. They have to be a part of it. So the knot is nice and big and tight and large. This isn't too distracting. I'm just going to leave that. And again, there's your sample. And what I should do is I should also tape it down onto this, if I haven't mentioned that before, as your sample. And that's it. You're going to be learning the next one here, but there you go on that setup. So good luck on the pickets. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks.